Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, and salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled Tattoos and Its Health Risks. My source is wikipedia.org. And it states a tattoo is a form of body modification where a design is made by inserting ink, dyes, and pigments, either indelible or temporary, into the dermis layer of the skin to change the pigment. The art of making tattoos is tattooing. When you go into the term tattoo, the origin of that word goes into puncture, and the origin of puncture goes into prick. When you receive a tattoo, you are cutting in your flesh by those pricks. That is the reason why you bleed. Also, according to Etymon Online, when you look up tattoo as noun two, it states people that received tattoos were uncivilized people, sailors, and people that were sentenced for punishments. The nation of Israel is a holy nation. All right? We have laws, statutes, and commandments. That is what separated us and separates us from these other nations. When you receive tattoos, you are going into the ways of the heathens. Let's focus on health risk. Because it requires breaking the skin barrier, tattooing carries health risks, including infection and allergic reactions. Tattooing can be uncomfortable to excruciating depending on the area and can result in a person fainting. Modern tattooists reduce risk by following universal precautions, working with single-use items, and sterilizing their equipment after each use. Many jurisdictions require that tattooists have blood-borne pathogen training, such as that provided through the Red Cross and OSHA as of 2009. In the United States, there have been no reported cases of HIV contracted from tattoos. My question is, what about before 2009? In amateur tattooing, such as that practiced in prisons, however, there is an elevated risk of infections that can theoretically be transmitted by the use of unsterilized tattoo equipment or contaminated ink, include surface infections of the skin, fungal infections, some forms of hepatitis, herpes simplex virus, HIV, staph, tetanus, and tuberculosis. These are consequences for breaking the law, statutes, and the commandments. Just like if you shave, you will receive hair bumps. If you eat pork, you will receive high cholesterol as well as high blood pressure. These are indicators for not doing this or not to do this. Okay? So if you break the law, statutes, and commandments, you will receive punishments. Okay? Tattoo inks have been described as remarkably non-reactive histologically. However, cases of allergic reactions to tattoo inks, particularly certain colors, have been medically documented. This is sometimes due to the presence of nickel in an ink pigment, which triggers a common metal allergy. Occasionally, when a blood vessel is punctured during the tattooing procedure, a bruised hematoma may appear. At the same time, a number of tattoo inks may contain hazardous substances, and a proposal has been submitted by the ECHA to restrict the intentional use or concentration limit of approximately 4,000 substances when contained in tattoo inks. According to a study by the EUON, a number of modern-day tattoo inks contain nanomaterials. Certain colors, red or similar colors, such as purple, pink, and orange, tend to cause more problems and damage compared to other colors. Red ink has even caused skin and flesh damages so severe that the amputation of a leg or an arm has been necessary. And I thought this shit was lawful. If part of a tattoo, especially if red, begins to cause even minor troubles like becoming itchy or worse, lumpy, then Danish experts strongly suggest to remove the red parts. Okay? So you don't supposed to modify your skin by receiving tattoos. You are destroying your temple. In 2017, researchers from the ESRF in France say the chemicals in tattoo ink can travel in the bloodstream and accumulate in the lymph nodes, obstructing their ability to fight infections. However, the authors noted in their paper that most tattooed individuals, including the donors analyzed, do not suffer from chronic inflammation. All right, that's enough on that. Also, another point I want to make regarding religious views. Egyptians originally used tattoos to show dedication to a god. This also show protection. Jehovah's Witnesses must not make tattoo markings on themselves. Judaism focuses on the book of Torah, which is the law. It clearly states one shall not make gashes in their flesh. Let's jump down to Christianity. Remains one of the religions without a definite answer on tattoos. Proves they don't know shit. Judaism generally prohibits tattoos among its adherents based on the commandments in Leviticus, the 19th chapter. Jews tend to believe this commandment only applies to Jews and not to Gentiles. All right, and you have two forms of Gentiles. You have the natural Gentiles and you have the unnatural Gentiles. The unnatural Gentiles are the Israelite foreigners. Okay? And basically, the law, statutes, and commandments apply to the entire nation of Israel. So when you see the word being preached to the Gentiles, and those Gentiles believe, these are Israelite foreigners. All right, their laws, their identity, their customs, and so on and so forth. Okay, and we all became Gentile foreigners, but we're classified as unnatural Gentiles, if that makes sense. We was for people that are enlightened with the truth. But back to the topic. Even they know. Okay, so when you go to Leviticus 19 and 28, I'm just going to read it. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. And that's cut and dry. So if a person dies, you do not supposed to receive a tattoo on that person's behalf, nor print any marks upon you, period, or anything outside of that incident. You do not receive any tattoos. I am the Lord Yahweh. Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.